So one of the questions comes up is what's the big thing about the cover crops? Well, the cover crops gives us a couple of things that we don't have in a sterile environment where we don't have anything there. I firmly believe a lot of the benefits of the cover crop are actually below the surface, and so we get a good rooting patterns. We increase our microbial populations. We got a lot more growth of organisms underneath that soil. And what we have seen is that they can work together in terms of the soybeans. For example, in terms of maybe the cyst nematode. We can actually reduce cyst nematode problems by looking at some of the cover crops out there. They tend to reduce the population, and then doesn't have such a bad effect on the soybeans. The other thing is that it gives us a lot of potential in terms of getting some root growth. And there's an interaction there with soybeans as well as, say, for example, cereal rye, is that we can then get a benefit from a growth standpoint for both of those. So. Do we just use a single cover crop, or do we do some mixes? I think that's kind of dictated a little bit by what you have, and maybe for a herbicide program that's out there. So if we have a herbicide program that's going to be very strong on a broadleaf problem, you're probably not going to have as good a luck planting something like a turnip or a radish as can maybe the cereal rye by itself. What we're looking at is to try to come up with some programs on the herbicide side that allows us to do some mixes later on to the season once that herbicide has started to run out into the late part of the season.